Hey, welcome back to the on-site edition of the Plumbing Gurus. We are here to strive to save you money and keep you informed on all the proper plumbing practices. So don't forget to smash the subscribe button. So the last video we did, we were upstairs at this house. We were doing a three-piece bathroom and we did some kitchen stuff. Now we've moved our way downstairs. We're going to show you what we did with the drainage over here. So they wanted to add a three-piece bathroom in the basement. They only had one three-piece upstairs. They're looking to kind of flip this house as a duplex. We're going to be showing you everything throughout this whole house. So we're going to show you step by step how we've been going about doing this, our planning phase. So we have a three-piece bathroom that we've added down here. There was a stack here and the main water line, and we knew that this main 4-inch drain was running this way, so we just started breaking some concrete here, and we found the 4-inch line here, and we tied into it right here. Normally, if the stack goes through 2 stories, we have to be 5 feet back from the base of the stack. But in this case, it's a bungalow, so we don't have to worry about that. And most likely because, we would never even get the 5 feet because it's so close to the party wall here. It just runs underneath. Highly likely the inspector's not going to make us put it within 5 feet. But anyways, it's a bungalow, so we were able to go less than 5 feet. So what we did here is we dug down, found the pipe. It's cast iron, so we had to cut the cast iron in 2 spots, and we just used 2 4-inch Fernco's and a 4x3 Y, and we just put the Y on its back just to get it up higher so we didn't have to dig as much. But we also ran across, we found that there was a 3-inch pipe going over to the floor drain over there, so we just went on top of everything. We came this way, we went 4x3 on its back, like I said, 3-inch fitting 45 into a backwater valve because they don't have a main line here, so we got to protect fixtures below grade. Inspectors want to see that here. So we're going to put a 3-inch backwater valve. It's nice that it's not in the bathroom. Sometimes, unfortunately, they end up in the bathroom, but in this case, it's outside the bathroom. This is just going to be kind of like a closet area. So we're going to put a clean out cover here and have access to this backwater valve.
Why don't we open that and show what it looks like inside? To those of you that don't know.
Just a backwater valve. It's got a little flapper, comes off. So sometimes when we glue them, we take them off and then glue it, and then in case glue gets, but we're not the type of people that just like slap glue on and put a ton of it on there. So flapper goes on there, allows water past. If you have a backup, something's clogged up and it's backing up, it won't come up through your toilet or your tub or anything like that. So that is protecting all your fixtures below grade. That is the idea of that. So let's move into the bathroom where we ran our pipe. Come on. Come over here. So every situation isn't always the same, but they're always kind of very similar. We usually have a bathtub, toilet, and sink. This is a pretty standard layout. So when you're doing your 3-inch, we always run straight to the toilet. So we went straight to the toilet. And then as soon as you take a Y off of this toilet line, that is now your wet vent for your toilet. So this is coming this way. This is a 2-inch, and it has to be minimum 2-inch for a wet vent. And it comes up, and this is our vanity. So this portion from here to here, this is our 2-inch wet vent. And then this is just our 1.5-inch trap arm to our vanity, 1.5-inch vent. You need a minimum 1.5-inch vent to vent the toilet or a wet vent like that. So no matter what, we always run 1.5-inch anyways. We never do 1.25-inch. And then it comes up and just ties into a pre-existing vent that we showed in the first video. It was already dropped down from the 3-inch stack upstairs above flood level rim, and that ties in. So it's venting this whole bathroom. Now the nice trick that we do once in a while when you have to, so you can see here we use a 3x2 double Y. So the reason we did that is this can actually drain in, and this can still act as your vent, your wet vent for your trap for your tub. So whether or not this is a shower or a tub, you can run 2-inch over. So we've ran 2-inch over here, and we just reduced it and put an 1.5-inch trap there for a tub. If this was a shower, we would have put a 2-inch P-trap in, but because it's a tub, they just have the waste and overflows are 1.5-inch anyway, so we just put an 1.5-inch trap. And we always like to put the trap in first before we pour the concrete. And then we don't, as you can see here, we've put a coupling kind of a little bit higher so that we can backfill a little bit, and then we just don't glue this piece in. So when we put the tub in, we can work from behind and actually quickly tie it into the waste and overflow. It's just simple that way. And we know exactly, we have the tub over there, we measured, it's 14 inches off the wall. We've made our mark here. We know that usually when you do a waste and overflow with a tub, it's usually about 2 inches off the back, so we're just a little bit off, and it just ties in perfect. Literally when we go to drop the tub in, this will fit in perfect. And then what we're gonna do is get this inspected. We're gonna put a block here to protect the concrete from going in here, so put like a 2x4 or something here. And then we're gonna pour this concrete. So that'll be in one of our next videos. We're gonna get this inspected, pour this concrete, and then install the tub. It's just kind of the better way of doing it. And then we always like to have our flush fit flange. Instead of putting a test cap there, we just put this here so we know we have it. If we need to come back after rough in stage just to cut the 4-inch flush to the concrete, we have our flush fit 4 flange sitting there, cut it flush to the concrete, glue it in, done. You're not searching for one in the van, trailer, whatever truck you're driving.
Whose idea was that?
That was Clayton. I know he's going to do that. He's the smart,
we both come up with good ideas, but it's nice when you.
So again, awesome. I didn't mention this, but we got a 2-inch line clean out there, and then just to clean that portion. So we always have a clean out for that. This portion here, from there to there, can be cleaned out from the toilet, so they don't make us put a clean out there. Again, this here, same thing. We never glue our pipes into our trap irons into the wall, unless they are on an outside wall and you know that they're going to be like tuck taped or something like that. Then I'll glue it in, but then I try to make it as perfect as possible. But in this case, this is an interior wall, so we take this out when we go to do finishing. Cabinet gets put in. We're not having to put a coupling on this piece inside the cabinet, having to cut inside the cabinet. It's a pretty good little power tip there. So I think that's pretty much it for a 3-piece bathroom. It's fairly standard. If you have any questions or ideas that, if you're a plumber yourself and you've done a different way of doing this, we'd love to hear. Maybe send us some drawings. Check us out on Facebook, The Plumbing Gurus. We have a Facebook group there. You can ask us all kind of questions or come in and tell us what we're doing wrong. We'd like to hear your opinion, unless it's, not a good one, but
we delete all the bad comments.
Yeah.
Actually, no, we don't. We
leave just kidding. Just send us what you got, because we are always looking at better ways to do things. And of course, sometimes you're from a different place. We're from Canada. This is Alberta. Your codes might be different, so this is how it's done here. This will 100% pass inspection, so we'd love to hear what your inspections would pass or not. Anyway, moving on, we got some water lines here. So this is pretty basic, just hot and cold to the vanity here. We got a cold, and we usually put them around, depending on the cabinet, but a standard cabinet, we just put them at about 24 inches, and usually 6 to 8 inches apart, make them come out straight. We put in a solid piece of backing, everything looks nice and straight, so that when it just looks good in the finishing stage. Drain, we usually go anywhere between 17 to 20, it really depends on the cabinet. If you got drawers and stuff, sometimes you gotta go at 24, so it's really important on the power tip to talk to your contractor, homeowner, whoever you're doing the job for. Make sure you know what they're putting in, because you can put it at 18 or 19 or 20, and then all of a sudden they put in a floating cabinet and then it doesn't work. And they've got drawers in there or something, then you're kind of fucked at the end. So just make sure you pay attention to that kind of stuff. And then we got our tub. We've started putting the drain on the opposite side of the toilet, so that when you reach in, you're not reaching over. The old style of doing it with the valve was on this side, but then you're reaching over the toilet or something. So now we've put them on the opposite side. We find that looks better. We're just going to put a standard tub and shower valve here. That'll be in a video to come. There was copper water lines in here. So today we've done all this today. This is one thing, so we're going over it. We put in a new valve with the meter. This one wasn't holding, so we put in a new valve here. We ran all new PEX lines back to the mechanical room to the hot water tank, and everything's kind of up and above. We ran out of pipe here.
We ran out of pipe.
So we had to order some more, but we are running it back to the hot water tank.
But we got some more.
Yeah,
right
absolutely.
There. Yeah, place is a little bit of a mess, but that's how it is when you're doing this kind of work. Most of this concrete will be taken out. Dirt will be put back in once inspection passes.
Absolutely. So we're gonna be doing all of this. We're gonna be pouring the concrete. We're gonna be showing you guys step by step on how we go about doing this. This is kind of the phase that we like to do things. Today, Clayton was kind of doing most of the work. I did some stuff to help him out in between, but I was also doing all the extra planning to make sure the next day that we have our material. We're getting holes cored for the concrete for the hot water tank. It's going to be piped outside. In these old houses, the rim joists are filled with concrete, so we're going to get those cored. I was planning that, marking holes, measuring pipes, ordering, making a list so that on Monday when we come back, we're ready to go and keep going. We're not scrambling for pipe and fittings. So yeah, if you have any questions, concerns, comments, please let us know. And don't forget to smash subscribe button, like, do the thing, and we'll see you guys in the next one.